had Rob O'Neill, who was a Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden on last week.
I don't like the number of tools you need to take apart 30-06.
Two different flathead screwdrivers. What's up, everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in. In regards to the Charlie Kirk murder, were Robert O'Neill and Andrew Bustamante lying during the most recent interviews with Piers Morgan, or is there more to the story? Make sure you watch till the end as I break down the interviews step by step and point out the inconsistencies. All I want is for you guys to be informed and for no one to take advantage of you. Who am I? I'm a former police officer. I worked at a special unit in Germany for 7 years. After that, I moved to the US, worked as a VIP protector for Gavin DeBecker and Associates, and now I own my own security firm in Beverly Hills, protecting some of the wealthiest and most influential people in the world. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now watch.
The Charlie Kirk murder, and I had Rob O'Neill, who was a Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden on last week, on Monday, saying that there were a lot of questions he felt just didn't quite stack up with it.
I don't like the number of tools you need to take apart 30-06, or how much time you need, how many different tools.
All right, so let's talk about how many tools it needs. So he says, Robert O'Neill, former Navy SEAL, claims, obviously by his statement, it takes a huge amount of tools to break down a Mauser 98. I can tell you from experience, it doesn't. It takes two different flathead screwdrivers. You can probably do it with one if you just use the small one on all three screws. And with that, I go to the next topic, how much time it needs. It is 3 screws to break it down to the level where it can be transported. So don't take my word for it. Check out what ChatGPT had to say. You can Google the same question, or you can GPT the same question to verify that what I'm telling you is the truth. Check it out here. So we remove the stock of this chambered Mauser 98. You need a flathead screwdriver and a smaller flathead screwdriver. Like I said, you can use the small one for both. It's just, it might mess up your screw a little bit. So you unscrew the main action screws, and then you take down the floor plate and spring with the smaller screwdriver. And he didn't have a sling, so the step number 3 can be completely disregarded. So how long, realistically, will it take you to take out 3 screws that are about a centimeter long? Check it out. I have a video on it, but let's first watch what else they have to say about that.
And then
well, that's really interesting. So let me stop you there. So if you were doing that with all your training, you were one of the most elite guys in special forces in American history. If you were dismantling this precise rifle, how long would it take you to do it?
A 30-06, well, it's going to take several minutes. I can't even remember I grew up, my first rifle was a 30-06 in Montana, and I can't remember the last time I took it apart. I could take the bolt out, clean that off, but...
So before we continue, where he said his first rifle was a 30-06 in Montana, I'm going to talk later on about the behavior and the exact psychological technique that he's trying to use here. And I'm not going to tell you guys too much, what he's trying to do, but you got to skip to the next part for that. But first, let's see what he says, how long it will take to take it down.
In order to break it down to the point where you can even walk with a limp, it's going to take a solid 5 minutes, I would guess, with different... I don't even think you use that type of a screwdriver that he had with his DNA conveniently.
He said it would take a solid 5 minutes, I would guess. I can tell you, my daily firearm that I carry is a SIG 229. I can tell you probably to second accuracy how long it will take me to take that down. Back when I was still with police, my duty guns were an HK-P7 and an HK MP5. I can tell you to second accuracy, even though that was about 17 years ago. I can tell you very precisely how long it will take me to take those down, saying I can't even tell you, but it's probably gonna take me about 5 minutes, and then he's gonna go blah 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 about the screwdrivers, and probably not even that screwdriver, probably not that screwdriver. What screwdriver did he have? As far as I found, there's no picture of the screwdriver, so we cannot tell what screwdriver he used, but let's just say a flathead screwdriver is not a Mercedes specialty tool. So, a lot of inconsistency? You tell me. Put a comment below. But now let's watch a video of someone breaking down that firearm.
Well, you guys asked for it, so here we go.
That's the smaller screwdriver. Specialty tool. Done.
Okay, there you go. I'll try to put the timestamp below there.
A whooping 43 seconds. 5 minutes. That's what the Navy SEAL special operator that can't even remember the last time we broke that down, but it's gonna require special tools and probably a couple of minutes. Now, after you've seen that, do you believe a word out of his mouth? Tell me. All right, now let's discuss why he said what he said. And I'm gonna break it down. I'll show you a few snippets that we're gonna go back on, and I'll make it very clear for you. Was he a liar, or is there more to the story? Watch.
This precise rifle, how long would it take you to do it?
This precise rifle, how long would it take you to do it? His reaction is, for a split second. What does that mean? He is very taken back by the question. He didn't expect to be asked this particular question, yet he wants to answer the question. He's getting air and he's trying to be alert to give an authoritative answer. Back in the day, when I was still a police officer, when I had suspects, when I had them in for questioning and they made this behavior, I knew I had the beginning of a threat. And I just started pulling on that thread, digging deeper and deeper and deeper, until they finally either said they don't want to say anything anymore, or until they confessed. I would have dealt with this guy the same way.
A 30-06, well, it's going to take several minutes. I can't.
Okay. Well, it's going to take several minutes. And then he's making an I clue from NLP. He is, from our point of view, looking to the top right. That means he's trying to visually remember something. And he is, because he's talking about his time in Montana. This does not mean that he really had a weapon like that, because if we listen to the words that he said with it, I can't even remember. So he can't really remember. Yet he wants to say something.
I can't even remember I grew up, my first rifle was a 30-06 in Montana.
Okay. He said he can't even remember. I grew up my first rifle with a big smile. So what he's doing here, he's doing clear face-saving behavior. he is trying to mask his embarrassment by shifting to a topic that he can talk very confidently about, which is a personal memory of him living in Montana. I don't doubt that he lived in Montana. I don't doubt that he dealt with firearms there. I just doubt his knowledge on that particular weapon system. And what he does here when he talks about his childhood in Montana growing up, it's something called topic adjacent storytelling, and it's also called a story armor. He's staying close enough to the topic so that it can wiggle through and so that he can move on, hopefully getting to another high ground where he can talk confidently on. So he wants it to pass by also sounding authoritative and not losing face. So it is face-saving behavior, authority padding, and narrative deflection. Fact, he's not deliberately lying. He just doesn't have any confidence speaking on that comment. So he is deflecting with a confidence story. Leave a comment below now that I revealed it. What do you think about it? Makes sense, right? All right, now that we know the modus operandi, let's watch the Andrew Bustamante part and let's compare it with what was said so far.
There were a lot of questions he felt just didn't quite stack up with it. Everything you've seen about the shooter, what happened, the fact it was a single bullet, the way he was able to put together his gun, dismantle his gun, get away, and so on. From a technical point of view about the shooting itself, for a 22-year-old who's not military trained, to be able to get up on that roof, put together a gun, then dismantle it, fire off one shot with a bolt-action rifle that belonged to his grandfather, reportedly, and get away, but to be able to assassinate somebody in that clinical manner, does that seem likely, or is there something we don't know about what this kid was doing before all this?
We look at everything in intelligence through a lens of probability. Anything is a possibility, but what are the probabilities that it played out the way that we're being told? So when I think of his age, and I think about the fact that he grew up
through the lens of probability and blah, 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 he's also building a armor here, a storytelling armor. He's doing the same kind of behavior that was exhibited so far. Also, he is not confident on speaking on that subject. It's not part of the CIA's book. CIA doesn't even deal with firearms that much. I mean, just imagine you have a CIA agent in Germany doing something covert, and they come across a police officer like myself, maybe on an undercover assignment. I would smell that guy out from a mile away. But if he has a firearm, he's gonna be locked up very quickly, very long for espionage in Germany. So he had to deal with people like me. So that's why I smell that kind of behavior.
a hunting family, and I think about the fact that he was familiar with that particular weapon. He was familiar with the campus. He had what we call the advantage of area familiarity, area fam. He had all of those benefits that Charlie and Charlie's team did not have.
All right.
Plus, of course,
So
he had the element of surprise on his
He grew
side.
up in a hunting family. He had the area fam, trying to put a word in there again to sound like he knows what he's talking about, to instill confidence in the hopes that smart listeners like yourself are skipping over the massive inconsistency that he dropped here. He said he grew up in the hunting family, blah, blah, blah. So he agrees with Robert. Why would he know how that weapon works? Does that make sense? All right, everyone. I'll leave the rest to you. Leave a comment on everything below. Make sure you watch our other video if you haven't seen it, where I also discuss Andrew Bustamante and how he views how a legal process should work and how it actually works. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for the next one. Have a good one, everyone.